The truth about Dylan Wang and Shen Yue's relationship. What we've all missed. K-drama Haven family. Some stories end when the credits roll. Some couples fade when the drama wraps. But with Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, the story never ended. It simply shifted, moving from the screens into whispers, into rumors, into memories fans have carried for years. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the world of your favorite celebrities. And today we're going to peel back the curtain. Not just on the Dylan-Shen Yue everyone thinks they know, but the truth that's been hiding in plain sight all along. So sit tight because this one is going to take you on a journey. Meteor Garden, the spark that started it all. Let's rewind to 2018. When the reboot of Meteor Garden was announced, no one imagined just how explosive it would become. Dylan Wang, a rookie actor at the time, was stepping into one of the most iconic roles in C-drama history. And opposite him, Shen Yue, fresh from the success of A Love So Beautiful. The stakes were high, expectations even higher. But the moment Dylan and Shen Yue appeared on screen together, everything changed. The awkward first encounters, the fiery arguments, the tender stolen glances. It all felt too natural, too real. And fans everywhere asked the same question. Was this just acting, or something more? What the cameras didn't show. On-screen chemistry is one thing. But what happened when the cameras stopped rolling told an entirely different story. Behind the scenes, Dylan and Shen Yue weren't just co-stars running lines. They were laughing, teasing, whispering. There's a famous clip, you probably know the one, where Shen Yue stumbles during a blooper. Dylan doesn't hesitate. He catches her, holding her just a little too long. The crew bursts out laughing, but fans saw something else in that moment. A softness in his eyes. And then there were the rap parties. Industry insiders whispered about how the two always ended up in their own little corner, away from the crowd, talking like no one else existed. Coincidence? Or connection? Words that revealed more than intended. Then came the interviews. Dylan was asked again and again about working with Shen Yue. And while most actors would give the usual polite answers, Dylan's words always carried something heavier. "She's not just a co-star," he once said. "She's someone who makes me feel comfortable. Like I don't have to pretend." Comfort. Not having to pretend. Words that hit fans like thunder. And Shen Yue. Her responses were quieter, but no less telling. Every time Dylan's name was mentioned, her entire face lit up. She giggled. She blushed. She turned shy. An energy you can't fake. The rumors that wouldn't die. As the drama ended, fans braced themselves for the usual separation. Co-stars move on. New projects begin. But not with Dylan and Shen Yue. Rumors kept surfacing. Photos of them spotted leaving the same location minutes apart. Whispers from extras on set of their playful closeness. Fans swore they saw Dylan defending Shen Yue from online criticism more than once. Nothing was ever officially confirmed. Their agencies stayed silent. But silence, family, is sometimes the loudest answer of all. Because while the industry tried to move forward, the Dylan-Shen Yue spark refused to burn out. The world moves on. But the fandom doesn't. Years passed. Both stars took on new roles. Dylan grew into one of China's most bankable actors, with hits like Love Between Fairy and Devil. Shen Yue carved out her own niche, beloved for her girl-next-door charm. But here's the thing. No matter who they acted with, no matter how strong the chemistry, nothing ever compared to Dylan and Shen Yue. Fans knew it. Directors knew it. Even industry insiders admitted it quietly. There was something about them that couldn't be recreated. It was as if Meteor Garden wasn't just a drama. It was lightning in a bottle. The reunion that shook the internet. And then, when fans least expected it, it happened. A reunion. It wasn't a planned event. It wasn't a drama announcement. Just a moment. Dylan and Shen Yue crossing paths at a public function, caught on camera. A hug. Simple. Genuine. Lasting just a few seconds. But it was enough to break the internet. Because in that hug you could see everything. The familiarity of two people who once shared something deep. The comfort of years that hadn't erased their bond. The spark that still flickered. Undeniable, unshaken. Fans didn't just cheer. They cried. They screamed. They flooded social media with comments like, "Look at the way he holds her, like he never forgot." That isn't acting. That's history. After all these years, and the chemistry still hasn't faded. What everyone missed. And here's the truth, family. The one most people overlooked. It was never about whether Dylan-Shen Yue were officially dating. It was never about whether the rumors were true or false. It was about the impact. Because Dylan-Shen Yue weren't just co-stars. They weren't just friends. They were each other's anchor during the most pivotal moment of their careers. Shen Yue gave Dylan warmth when he was a rookie lost in sudden fame. Dylan gave Shen Yue courage when she was facing the weight of expectation. Together they created a bond that shaped who they became. And that's why, even now, years later, fans still feel it. Because their story was never just real. It was real in the ways that mattered most. Real versus real. Does it even matter? So let's ask the question one more time. Was Dylan Wang and Shen Yue's relationship real or real? The answer is simple. It was both. On screen, they gave us a love story that defined a generation. Off screen, they gave each other something that left an imprint. Whether as friends, as partners, or as something more we'll never fully know. And maybe that's why we can't let go. Because in Dylan-Shen Yue we saw the rarest thing. A connection so strong it blurred the lines between fantasy and reality. The lingering energy. Years after Meteor Garden, years after the rumors, years after the hug that broke the internet. One thing remains unshaken. The energy. Ask any fan, any director, any journalist. Mention Dylan-Shen Yue, and watch how people smile. Watch how their voices lower, like they're speaking of a secret too fragile to say out loud. It's the kind of energy that doesn't fade with time. It lingers, haunts. It refuses to be forgotten. The roles that weren't meant to be. Insiders have whispered for years about dramas Dylan-Shen Yue were almost cast in together. One in particular, a modern romance set in Shanghai, was rumored to have approached both stars. The story was perfect. Two childhood friends turned lovers, reunited by fate. But for reasons never fully explained, it didn't happen. Some say scheduling conflicts. Others believe the industry feared the shadow of Meteor Garden was too strong. Imagine it though. Dylan-Shen Yue, older, more mature, bringing a deeper, richer chemistry to the screen. The project may have fallen through, but the dream stayed alive in the fandom. Silent protection. One of the most overlooked truths about Dylan-Shen Yue is how protective Dylan has always been of her. He rarely speaks about her now in public. Not out of indifference, but out of respect. Those who know Dylan say he's deeply aware of how online speculation can harm an actress's career. So instead of words, he protects her with silence. And yet, the silence speaks volumes. Because whenever Shen Yue's name trends, fans can't help but notice Dylan's subtle gestures. A like here, a repost there, or even the timing of his own posts that seem to support her without saying a word. It's the kind of loyalty you can't fake. The fandom's unstoppable belief. If Dylan-Shen Yue have taught us anything, it's this. Fandoms never forget. From Asia to the West, their fans have kept the flame alive. Fan pages still post edits of Meteor Garden scenes daily. Old interviews resurface with millions of views. And every single time the two are mentioned in the same breath, hashtags explode across social media. It's not just nostalgia. It's belief. Belief that what they shared wasn't just acting. Belief that, somehow, their story isn't finished. The day the cameras caught them again. Let's revisit that viral reunion hug. What most fans didn't know is that multiple angles of that moment exist. Photographers who were there claimed that before the hug, Dylan waited. He opened his arms first, and for a second, Shen Yue hesitated, shy, almost unsure. But then, she melted into it. Like she'd been waiting to. And when she pulled away, Dylan's hand lingered at her back for just a heartbeat longer. A heartbeat that fans slowed down, analyzed, replayed millions of times. Some say that moment revealed more truth than any interview ever could. The unanswered question. Here's what fans have wrestled with for years. If it was real, why didn't they go public? Why didn't they fight for it? The answer might be simpler and sadder than we think. The industry is harsh. Careers can be destroyed overnight. A public romance between two rising stars, fresh off their breakthrough, could have derailed everything they worked for. So maybe they chose differently. Maybe they chose silence. Maybe they chose their dreams. But that doesn't erase the possibility that, in another timeline, in another version of their lives, Dylan-Shen Yue did fight for it. The future that fans still pray for. Imagine this. A director, bold, unafraid of comparisons, announces a new drama. Not a reboot, not a light rom-com, but a mature, sweeping love story. And the leads, Wang and Shen Yue. The press conference alone would shatter the internet. The first teaser trailer. History-making. Fans don't just want this. They crave it. They write petitions. They send letters to production companies. They trend hashtags every anniversary of Meteor Garden. Because the truth is simple. The world isn't done with Dylan-Shen Yue. And deep down, maybe neither are they. What we've all missed. So what have we all missed about Dylan-Shen Yue's relationship? It isn't just about whether they dated. It isn't just about rumors or denials. What we've missed is the fact that not all love stories are meant to be explained. Some are just meant to be felt. And Dylan-Shen Yue gave us that. A connection so powerful that it blurred the lines between real and real, leaving fans to wonder, to dream, to believe. That's why, even now, their story refuses to die. Because maybe the real truth is this. Wang and Shen Yue didn't just act a love story. They lived one. K-drama haven family. In the end, the truth about Dylan-Shen Yue isn't a headline. It isn't a rumor. It isn't even something they'll ever confirm for us. The truth is in the way they made us feel. The truth is in the legacy they created. The truth is in the belief that, just maybe, their story isn't over yet. Because for Wang and Shen Yue, it was never just real. It was always, in the deepest way, real.